Good morning, Sharon. About to talk to Bakari Sellers. A lot of people know him from cable news, but he's also a civil rights attorney in South Carolina. Of course, it's a case in North Carolina with Andrew Brown right now. The family only saw 20 seconds of video and his shooting death by police officers. 20 seconds. They had like 8 or 9 body cams there, plus another camera that was outside that they did not release. And they only showed 20 seconds of the video to a family that is grieving right now, and they're trying to basically say that it has a lot to do with the judge and whatnot. I think they could actually show it to the family, maybe not release it to the press, but why not show the family if you don't have anything to hide? So we're going to ask Bakari about these issues that's going on right now in this case, because we got Andrew Brown, Isaiah Brown, which we haven't forgotten about, a young man who was shot 10 times. Because he had a phone to his head, and I don't know why he was shot. Of course, anybody that's brown these days are in danger when it comes to the police force. So we're trying to get Bakari together, and once we do, we'll bring it to you right here on BNC.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't know why he was shot either. I know what the answer will be, because the answer is the same in every single case. They were shot because the police were in fear of their life. Because the police felt imminent danger. You know, all the stuff that's in that, all the stuff that's put there for reasons that you can go ahead and execute. And again, we don't know what happened in this case. Disclaimer. But for all of those reasons. But yeah, there's a lot of things I want to talk to Bakari about. So I think we should just bring him in here and let's have at it, you know.
I think they know what it is. So calls for transparency. That's what we want, right, when it comes to the police department. After the deadly police shooting of a black man in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. His family and attorneys say they were only shown 20 seconds of body cam footage from one officer. Lawyers say Andrew Brown Jr.'s hands were on the wheel when he was shot and killed in his car. Joining us now to talk about it is one of the lawyers representing the Brown family. Once again, Bakari Sellers, it's good to see you on the show. Wish we were under different circumstances, Bakari, but happy to have you here. First of all, you mentioned in your news conference, outside of the disrespect, how did they even explain to you that we're only going to show you 20 seconds of what they deem pertinent video of this body cam?
First, thank you for having me. It's awesome just to be on this network, and it's awesome to be with both of you all who I admire for your work in the journalism field and representing black folk around the diaspora just pitch perfectly. So thank you. Yeah, they said this was pertinent information. And when you think about that, they could have shown the family the entire video and deemed that entire video or entire videos to be pertinent information. But instead, what you saw was shooting already happening, them yelling at him, shouting at him to let me see his hands, let me see his hands. His hands were on the wheel. He even backed away while he was being shot at. And I will tell you that at no point did he put their lives in danger. They had AR 223s. It was, I don't know if you all recall this, but my best comparison is in the 1990s in Atlanta, Georgia, when you had the Red Dogs. And I don't know if anybody watching remembers those Red Dogs, but this is what it was very similar to, those jump out boys coming. And he had no gun, no drug, and they executed him.
Wow.
Yeah, you've been very clear. Other members of the team and the family have been very clear to call this an execution. As Mike and I were just chatting about right before we came to you, Bakari, and thanks again for being on the show. We talked a little bit about this order and the notion that, or perhaps it is the truth, that only a judge can release this order, but it's been, 5-6 days, and that could have been done. I've heard you say the way you were spoken to was just incredibly disrespectful. Something about not wanting, you're not going to come in here and bully us, which I read to mean, black man, stand down. You're not going to come in here and tell us how we do things around here. So can you talk a little bit about what happened behind your public demand for the release of this body cam footage?
First point is the law is extremely bad and arcane and terrible in the state of North Carolina. So I hope the NAACP, all individuals who, from the Charlotte Hornets to the Panthers to our grandmas and great aunts, et cetera, that are here are calling their legislators, telling them how awful this law is. Second, as we saw in Columbus, if Anthony Brown was doing anything they thought justified this shooting, you and I all know that they would have run down to the courthouse and that thing would have been filed on Wednesday night and they would have
Yep.
shown that video as soon as they possibly could, right? And as for me personally, I try to take that out, my personal kind of issues out. But I was so hurt and so angry that I had those like anger tears that get in your eyes because at no point
Yeah.
I was sitting next to the sheriff and the black deputy sheriff, and this was the county attorney, and there was a gentleman in there just there to show the video. At no point in my professional career had I been talked to and cursed out and basically just called a boy. And it was just so humiliating and so emasculating. And then Mike, you're in the middle of a sheriff's department. And so you have to act accordingly. That's first. And two, you walk outside and the entire world is watching. And so I hope my father's proud. That's all I can say because I attempted to gather myself. And I can tell you that Ben Crump was someone who pulled me aside and helped me gather myself. You got to have a good team around, and we have a really, really good team of lawyers.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your composure in those situations when you're being blatantly disrespected. But on that point, Bakari, and I know you don't want to make it just about you. It wasn't just they're saying we're not going to be bullied. They used curse words when it came to that. Once again, showing only 20 seconds of video they felt was pertinent in this matter. The whole world is watching. Police departments around the nation. We just came off the Derek Chauvin trial where he got convicted on all 3 counts. With the environment that we're in right now, to have that level of disrespect, not only to you, but to the family, what does that tell you?
I mean, I walked in there with 2 degrees. So imagine how they treat everybody else. I say that with every ounce of humility. I had my suit on. I was being as respectful as I possibly could.